It takes about 66 days for an average individual to make something a daily habit. Depression is often referred to as the product of thoughts. Imagination causes issues that don't exist. Being happy around people makes you happier. Convincing yourself that you sleep well tricks your brain into believing you did. Studies say that individuals who could instinctively use sarcasm to tackle a frivolous question have healthy mind. Individuals who have deep sense of guilt are better at identifying the emotion and concern of the people around them. We are naturally second-minded because other people don't approve. An average individual mind wanders 30% of the time. High pupil raise to 45% when an individual look at somebody they love. During the 7 minutes of neural activity before dying, you will see your memories in a dream-like pattern. Having siblings is proven to help with getting along well with peers. The way an individual treats the employees at an establishment tell immensely about their character. If you sob out of happiness, the first tear will come from the right eye. But if you cry out of sorrow, it will come from the left. Food prepared by someone else tastes much better than your preparation, even when you use the same recipe. Hearing a single negative thing could damage at least 5 positive memories. Studies have shown that consuming food without preservative will increase IQ by up to 14%. You seem to think more about a specific individual than about catastrophic events. An individual still has 7 minutes of neural activity before he passes away. Researchers have observed that thinking that something bad is going to happen is less stressful to understand than not understanding how it will eventually wind up. Men are not more entertaining than women. They only make more jokes and they don't care whether others like their hormone or not. Shy people tell others very little about themselves, but they do it in a quick manner that makes other individuals believe they know them better than they think they do. Our brain size has decreased by 10% since we are hunter-gatherers. The study showed that information could last longer in the mind of a person evaluated for it than if it were only examined without the need for instant recall. People are much more likely to return a missing wallet if a picture of a child is found inside. Smart people tend to have fewer mates than the average person. The smarter the individual, the more selective they become. People who speak 2 languages can unintentionally change their personality when they switch from one language to another. People would rather change the truth than changing their view about people. Being alone is harder for your health than you believe. We are the most imaginative at night and at least creative in the day. Being home alone and isolated for long term is just as bad for your well-being as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. People are more likely to blame someone in the case when something negative happens. Study also found that people who are in position of influence and power are very poor at determining other people's emotions. People between the age of 18 and 33 have the highest percentage of depression in the world. Studies say that travel improves brain well-being and even lower a person's chance of heart diseases and depression. The force of authority may have the same effect on a human as traumatic brain injury. People read quicker with long line but prefer shorter line. Larger group make worse and more subjective choices than smaller group of people. Write it down if you can't interpret the stream of thinking at night. This is going to put your mind at ease so that you can relax. Women have half as many pain receptors on their body as men, but they have a much greater threshold for pain. Physically, repetition affects the brain as new associations are made between brain cells. The maximum number of close relationships or friendship you can maintain is between 50 and 150. Any relationship born between 16 and 28 years of age is more likely to be robust and long-lasting. Emotional pain is remembered better than actual pain, which has a greater influence on your behaviors. If we have a plan B, our plan A is likely to succeed. The starting and the ending are easier to recall than the middle ones. Money will buy happiness, but only to a certain extent. Retrograde amnesia is a disease where you don't recall much of the injuries. Almost all color have a physical wavelength associated with them, but the color magenta doesn't, as your brain is interpreting the color as not green. Exercise slows the neurological deterioration in our brain, and increased physical exercise will delay our brain aging by 10 years. We scream out when we are really happy, and the hypothalamus in our brain can't distinguish the difference between good, happiness, and sorrow. When we sleep, our spinal fluid flows into the skull beyond the blood vessel of the brain. This reduces brain cell waste, a particular accumulation of amyloid beta protein, the fastest supercomputer in the world. Takes 24 million watts of power to run, but our brains only need 20 watts and operate over 100 times faster. Anything that your mind says has an identical response from the body cells. We would like to break more law if one law is too strict. We would like to break more laws if one law is too strict. Our minds are working on making boring speeches more exciting. You are conditioned to enjoy the song you have most listened to in high school. Memory are more like piece images than precise snapshots. When you feel like you are low on something like money, you are obsessive about it. Your brain is doing more imaginative work when you are sleepy. It is also found that staying optimistic about the future can powerfully shield people from physical and mental illness. People who view crime show and film have consistently overestimated the frequency of crime in the real world. Your reliance on social media is the product of your psychological system. There is a neurological explanation for why you thought your phone was vibrating, because there is no warning called phantom vibration syndrome. Some people live their life as if they were in reality television show. Feeling as though you are in a TV reality show is considered the trauma syndrome. Seeing others favorable shows our positive characteristic. Seeing others negatively reveal our negative attributes. The sort of music you listen to influences the way you view the world. Romantic desire is biochemically indistinguishable from serious obsessive compulsive disorder. Phobia may be memories which are passed down through many ancestors using our DNA, according to new study. Researchers are thinking of adding internet addiction to general list of psychiatric illness. The brain expresses rejection as physical discomforts. Sugar and fat were pretty good stuff to our predecessors. Our brain doesn't think that long-term deadlines are so significant. Our local culture and environment can sometimes cause hallucinatory voices. The average high school student now has the same level of anxiety as compared to the average psychiatric ward inmate in the early 1950s. Religious rituals such as prayer are associated with significant lower level of mental issues or physical discomfort. No one born blind has ever had schizophrenia. Your choices are more logical because you think about another language. Human behavioral study indicate that a person who loses a mobile phone expresses a fear comparable to a near-death experience. A hug longer than 20 seconds will produce hormone in your body that make you trust the individual who is hugging you. People are franker because they are emotionally drained. That is why people mention things in late night talk. Happiness, rage, sorrow, anxiety, disgust, and surprise are the 6 feelings that are uniformly conveyed. People seem to be happy when they are kept busy, as this keep them from worrying about bad problems in life. The sight of water has a very calming and soothing effect on people, which make them experience happiness and calming thoughts and be more imaginative. You will feel happier spending your money on others than on yourself.